Color is everywhere. All things in the natural world have color. It's a powerful and rich means of expression. But what is color? All light has color. A white light contains all the colors. When a white light strikes an object, some colors are absorbed and some reflected. We see colors in the reflected light. Each object reflects light in different ways, and because of this, we see a variety of colors. Take, for instance, an egg. How does it get its color? When a white light shines on the outside, none of the colors are absorbed. All the colors are reflected, so visually, we see white. But on the inside, the yolk absorbs all the colors except yellow. It reflects the yellow rays, so we see the yolk as yellow. But what about these apples? Apples absorb all the colors except red. They reflect the red rays. Don't these apples look delicious? What colors are being reflected in these objects? So color is the process of absorbing some light rays and reflecting others. Colors can be divided into primary and secondary colors. Primary colors are red, blue, yellow. By mixing and combining primary colors, we get secondary colors. Secondary colors are orange, green, and violet. Mixing the primary colors red and yellow gives us the secondary color orange. Mixing the primary colors red and blue gives us the secondary color violet. And mixing the primary colors yellow and blue gives us the secondary color green. Combined, these colors produce an infinite variety of colors. Sometimes we talk about the value of a color. This refers to the lightness or darkness of a particular color. When white is added to a color, the color becomes lighter. When black is added to a color, the color becomes darker. By combining color with value, we can produce an infinite variety of effects. We can also describe color by its intensity. Intensity refers to the brightness of the color. Hue is the color itself. Value refers to lightness or darkness, and intensity. That's whether it's bright or dull. Each separate ingredient contributes to the quality of the colors we see. Take a look around your home. Observe the colors around you. Are all the colors the same, or do they vary? Are some greens darker or lighter? How about the browns or yellows? How many hues do you see? Each color has a power of its own. Which box do you think is heavier? Actually, both boxes weigh the same. But black is usually thought to be a heavier color. Color can also affect the way you feel. Color is important in art because it's used to create moods. Red is the color of life, the force, the vigor, and the energy of life. Yellow is the color that suggests health, well-being, friendliness. Blue is the color of spirit, selflessness, melancholy. Green is the color of healing, helpful, strong, friendly. In your favorite stories, artists use a lot of color. Notice how color helps the meaning of the stories. See how the pictures can change by using the different colors. Using the knowledge of color, artists skillfully and inventively use this visual element in their works to help in the total experience and expression. There's an endless variety of colors. An artist may use a few or many colors. There are no laws governing the use of colors. It's the relationship of color to color that's important. Throughout centuries, artists both in the East and the West have used color in their artworks. Each chooses to use color differently. The early American Indians used subtle colors in their sand paintings. Their sand paintings reflected things in nature and depicted many of their important religious ceremonies. The Oriental artist used color for accents and emphasis. The colors in their wood blocks are flat. These artists were not concerned with using color and value together. The Impressionistic artists were interested in natural color and landscapes. They painted color as they saw it. They were interested in how light affected color. They tried to paint an instant impression using color. The Expressionists used color to symbolize feelings and emotions. They used reds, oranges, greens, and blacks with great intensity. Modern artists emphasized the structure of art. They used color to display the workings of imagination and the invention of the mind. They were concerned with how color related to other art elements in their final design.
Color can be used to create areas of brightness and dullness, light and dark, and warm and cool. In your project today, you'll be choosing and selecting colors to create your design. The design that we'll be working on comes from the Hawaiian quilt. Do you remember these designs from your social studies classes? The Hawaiians used these designs to cover their kapas, and also they covered their pillows with them. Today we'll be working on 4 designs, and you may choose any one of them in your project. This design is the tea leaf design, the plumeria, and you see it folded here, the red ginger, as it is here, and the ulu, or the breadfruit. Okay, let's get started. I take a manila drawing paper that looks like this and fold it to make a square. This is the extra material that you don't need, so I'll cut that off. And we come up with a square that looks like this. I fold that in half, half again, and then I fold it diagonally to form a triangle. And now we're ready to draw the design. I've chosen the red ginger design. I'll draw, then cut the design out. Once I've done this, using stencil glue, I'll place it on another manila paper. Using Stickum paper, I'll block off the areas that I'll be working on, one square at a time. I'll explore the use of the two primary colors, yellow and red. What will happen if I mix those two colors for the third square? Using the lighter color first, I'll mix red into it. Discover the color being formed by mixing red and yellow. For the last square, I'll try something different. I'll mix the two primary colors in the palette and see what happens. By varying the amounts of red and yellow, I can produce another variation. Now I'll carefully remove my stencil, trim off the excess, and mount my design. I have some designs here that I have already mounted, and I'll show you a little bit of variation. This one, again, I used the red and the yellow, and I got the secondary color, which is the orange. And on one side, what I did was, again, mix in my palette the paint and then painted it on my design. In this particular design, what I did was to use complementary colors that we talked about earlier. Complementary colors that I used are red and green. And I ask you, what colors do you think, when mixed together, these complementary colors will produce? And as you can see, it is here on either side a kind of muddy brown. Okay, today you're ready to get started on your project. What design will you pick, and what colors will you create?